Yo, what is up, YouTube? I'm sorry for not uploading for so long, but I am finally back. It's been like a month. I am so sorry. I wanted to get this build out to you guys sooner, but I've just been busy with a few other things recently. I started streaming again, and I've just been working on the website. But anyway, to get into today's build, it's going to be a striker DPS slash armor build essentially. This does not focus 100% on armor or DPS, but rather a balance between both. And obviously, I will give you guys some adjustments you can make depending on the way you would like to use this with your playstyle. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the build. So, as you guys can see, for the main weapon, I will be running the Ouroboros. Don't have this expertise maxed out yet at all, so, all you really need is just the gun. I've damaged the target out of cover on this. That's what you want preferably. For the secondary, running a rock and roll. Reason for this is because it has 30 bullets in the mag instead of 20. The ACS 12 only has 20 and the lefty also only has 20. You can use these. Also easy to get your stacks up with them as well. If you like the sledgehammer perk, if you prefer using lefty, you definitely can. I just use rock and roll because 30 in the mag helps me get my stacks up quicker, and in case I need to just, keep shooting before I want to reload or whatever, depending on the situation, I find this to be more practical. So for the armor and the attributes, as you guys can see, my backpack has one red core attribute, which I'll be getting into in a second. For the exotic, I'm running the Catharsis mask with obviously armor, incoming repairs, armor regen. I don't know why this doesn't have a mod on. I think I saved the loadout before I applied the mod. But you want to have crit chance on this. You don't want your crit chance to be under 54%. So you want to get your crit chance as high as you possibly can, and then focus on crit damage after that, obviously. So for the exotic, like I said, I'm running the Catharsis. If you don't know what the Catharsis does already, every time you take a hit when somebody shoots you, you get a stack. And the stacks go up to a max of 30. And once you get hit again after 30 stacks, the stacks break and it drops a healing cloud. Every stack that you gain gives you 1% extra damage. So when you have a lot of armor in a build like this, like I said, this is balanced between damage and armor, but this does help you do more damage anyway. You can swap this out for Coyote's Mask if you prefer to do so. Like I said, you can adjust the build to your playstyle. But I enjoy using the Catharsis a lot. I've used it in many other builds in the past, so this is my go-to exotic mask that I use. So you can swap that out, but this is just how I use it. For the chest armor, we are using the Bellstone Armory named chestplate, which is the Everyday Carrier. Reason for this is the Perfectly Efficient talent. Now, once again, you can swap this out for a Sokolov piece, I would recommend. If you're not going to use the Everyday Carrier, I'll get into what this talent does in a second. But I know a lot of people want to run Unbreakable on their chestplate, so you obviously can do that too. You can run a Sokolov chestplate and then have Unbreakable on there, because this gives you plus 10% SMG damage, my bad. And obviously that's very helpful when using Ouroboros. But the reason I enjoy using this chestplate so much is, even though I don't have Unbreakable, unfortunately, and I don't get that 10% SMG damage, what I do get is an armor kit that has a 75% chance of not being consumed every time I use it, and it also increases my specialization bonuses by 100%. So what this basically does is, with the firewall specialization that I'm using, when I use an armor kit, this doesn't get consumed instantly, but rather what it does is it repairs my armor over 10 seconds, but instead of only giving me, my full armor capacity back, it basically doubles that and regenerates it over the span of 10 seconds. So if I regenerate my armor to full, even if I take damage after that within the next 10 seconds, it'll regen back to full. So that's the nice part about running Firewall. It's very useful in PvP, especially. So what the chestplate does is it increases that by 100%. So that it takes that 200% armor regen total up to 400%. So it's kind of crazy. You get a ton of armor back from it, and like I said, 75% chance of not consuming an armor kit. You pretty much have like infinite armor kits, especially when playing PvP. Most of the time, you're probably not going to have that much of a problem with running out of an armor kit. Now, if you're not running anything with armor on kill or memento backpack, then I find this to be very useful, in my opinion, like I said. So for the other pieces, we are running 4-piece striker, and on all of these pieces, preferably you would have armor. sorry for not mentioning, on the chest plate, I have armor for the core attribute and then crit chance and damage. You want to have crit chance and damage on everything. Unfortunately, you can't have this on the Catharsis because it's an exotic. But you want to have armor for the core attributes on everything and then crit chance and damage. So yeah, like I said, holster, nothing special here. We have the armor attribute and then crit damage. Now for the backpack, like I said at the beginning of the video, I am going to explain this real quick. So unfortunately, I have weapon damage on this. I don't have an extra striker bag with crit damage that's already pretty high. So I couldn't swap this out for armor, unfortunately, but preferably you would have another armor attribute here. If not, if you want to copy the build directly, you can obviously do that too. It doesn't hurt to have an extra red attribute since we are getting pretty good amount of armor regen from popping an armor kit anyway, so you don't necessarily need all that armor, but yeah, that's how I would run the build. And obviously I have a crit damage one on that, as you can see. For the gauntlets, we have armor again with crit chance, and then for the knee pads, armor with crit damage. So if you don't know what Striker's Gamble does already, basically weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times. 1 stack lost per second between 0 and 50 stacks, 2 stacks lost per second between 50 and 100. So what's cool about the Striker backpack is what this does is it changes the percentage you gain from every hit from 0.65% to 1%. So we actually can go up to 100% extra damage now when you have 100 stacks instead of only 65%. If you would like to, you can swap out the chest plate for a extra striker piece. You can just have armor on this again. And then what you'll be able to do then is increase the max stacks from Striker's Gamble from 100 to 200. So now you can go up to 200% extra damage instead of 100%. But you lose 3 stacks every second when you're over 100 stacks, from 100 to 200. So you lose them faster, but still, with the rock and roll shotgun, in my opinion, it's not the most difficult thing in the world to keep those stacks up. But that's completely up to you. Like I said, this is just how I run the build, and you can make changes if you would like to. But especially in PvP, this is how I love to run it. I feel like I get the best of both worlds with this. Obviously, the nicest part about Striker is how much more damage you can do. And then having this stacked up with a bunch of blue core attributes gives me a nice amount of armor. And then obviously you can run a Defender drone with this as well, which will just absorb more damage and it'll be even better. But that's completely up to you. I like to run... Oh, I'm not able to tab out here. My bad. I like to run the decoy and the pulse. Sometimes I'll swap out the decoy for the chem launcher, the riot foam chem launcher, but it just depends on the situation I'm in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the build, guys. I'll show you my stats real quick. Nothing too special here. My crit chance is 52.1%. Still got to get my crit chance a bit higher, but basically that is the gist of the build. That is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Check out my website if you would like to. I post my builds and updates on the games that I play there. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.